So how are we gonna do this? Peter asks me, his mouth full of ice cream. Do we dump it all out? I've given this some thought. I think we should take turns pulling something out. Let's make it last, like opening presents on Christmas morning. Genevieve leans forward in anticipation. Without looking, I reach into the cylinder and pull out the first thing my fingers touch. It's funny, I'd forgotten what I put inside, but I know what it is instantly. I don't have to look down. It's a friendship bracelet that Genevieve made for me when we were in our weaving phase in 5th grade. Pink, white, and light blue chevron. I made one for her too. Purple and yellow chevron. She probably doesn't even remember it. I look over at her, and her face is blank. No recognition. What is it? Trevor asks. It's mine, I say. It's a bracelet I used to wear. Peter touches his shoe to mine. That piece of string was your most treasured thing? He teases. John is watching me. You used to wear it all the time, he says, and it's sweet that he even remembers. Once it goes on, it's never supposed to come off, but I sacrificed it to the time capsule because I loved it so much. Maybe this is where Jen's and my friendship went sour. The curse of the friendship bracelet. You go next, I say to him. He reaches inside the box and pulls out a baseball. That's mine, Peter crows. That's from when I hit a home run at Claremont Park. John throws the ball to him, and Peter catches it. Examining it, he says, see, I signed and dated it. I remember that day, Genevieve says, tilting her head. You came running off the field, and you kissed me in front of your mom. Remember? Not really, Peter mumbles. He's staring down at the baseball, turning it in his hand like he's fascinated by it. I can't believe him. I really can't, awkward, Trevor says with a chortle, in a soft voice, like no one else is here, she says to him. Can I keep it? Peter's ears are turning red. He looks at me, panicky. Covey, do you want it? Nope, I say, keeping my head turned away from them. I grab the bag of cheese doodles and stuff a handful in my mouth. I'm so mad all I can do is eat cheese doodles or else I'll scream at him. Okay, then I'm gonna keep it, Peter says, putting the baseball in his coat pocket. Owen might want it. Sorry, Jen. He grabs the time capsule and starts rifling through it. He holds up a worn-out baseball cap. Orioles. Too loudly he says, McLaren, look what I got here. A smile spreads across John's face like a slow sunrise. He takes it from Peter and puts it on his head, adjusting the bill. That really was your most prized possession, I say. He wore it deep into the fall, too. I asked my dad to buy me an Orioles t-shirt because I thought John McLaren would be impressed. I wore it twice, but I don't think he ever noticed. My smile fades when I notice Genevieve watching me. Our eyes meet, there is some knowing light in her gaze that makes me feel twitchy. She looks away, now she is the one smiling to herself. The Orioles suck, Peter says, leaning against the wall. He reaches for the box of ice cream sandwiches and pulls one out. Pass me one of those, Trevor says. Sorry, last one, Peter says, biting into it. John catches my eye and winks. Same old Kavinsky, he says, and I laugh. I know he's thinking of our letters. Peter grins at him. Hey, no more stutter. I freeze. How could Peter bring that up so cavalierly? None of us ever talked about John's stutter back in middle school. He was so shy about it. But now John just flashes a smile and shrugs and says, I'll pass that along to my 8th grade speech therapist, Elaine. He's so confident, Peter blinks, and I can see that he is caught off guard. He does not know this John McLaren. It used to be that Peter was the shot caller, not John. He followed Peter's lead. Peter might still be the same, but John has changed. Now Peter's the one who is less sure-footed. Chris goes next. She pulls out a ring with a tiny pearl in the center. Allie's, a confirmation gift from her aunt. She loved that ring. I'll have to send it to her. Trevor pulls out his own treasure, an autographed baseball card. Genevieve is the one to pull out Chris's, an envelope with a $20 bill inside. Yes. Chris screams. I was such a little genius. We high-five. What about yours, Jen? Trevor asks. She shrugs. I guess I didn't put anything in the capsule. Yes, you did, I say, brushing orange cheese dust off my fingers. You were there that day. I remember she went back and forth between putting in a picture of her and Peter or the rose he gave her for her birthday. I can't remember what she decided on. Well, there's nothing inside, so I guess I didn't. Whatever. I look inside the time capsule just to be sure. It's empty. Remember how we used to play assassins? Trevor says, squeezing the last bit of juice out of his Capri Sun. Oh, how I loved that game. It was like tag. Everybody picked a name out of a hat, and you had to tag the person out. Once you got your person, you had to take out whoever they had. It involved a lot of sneaking around and hiding. A game could last for days. I was the Black Widow, Genevieve says. She does a little shoulder shimmy at Peter. I won more than anybody. Please, Peter scoffs. I won plenty. So did I. Chris says. Trevor points at me. Lil J, you were the worst at it. I don't think you won once. I make a face. Lil J. I'd forgotten he used to call me that. And he's right, I never did win. Not even once. The one time I came close, Chris tagged me out at Kitty's swim meet. I'd thought I was safe because it was late at night. I was so close to that win, I could almost taste it. Chris's eyes meet mine, and I know she's remembering too. She winks at me, and I give her a sour look. Lara Jean just doesn't have the killer instinct. Genevieve says, looking at her nails. I say, we can't all be Black Widows. True, she says, and my teeth clench. John says to Peter, remember that one time I had you, and I was hiding behind your dad's car before school, but it was your dad that came out, not you? And I scared him, and he and I both screamed? Then we had to quit altogether when Trevor came to my mom's store in his ski mask. Peter guffaws, everyone laughs, except for me. I'm still smarting from Genevieve's killer instinct dig. Trevor's laughing so hard he can barely speak. She almost called the cops. He manages to sputter. Peter nudges my sneaker toe with his. We should play again. He's trying to get back in my good graces. But I'm not ready to let him, so I just shrug a chilly little shrug. I wish I weren't mad at him, because I really do want to play again. I want to prove I've got the killer instinct too, that I'm not some assassin's loser. We should do it, John says. For old time's sake. He catches my eye. One last shot, Lara Jean. I smile. Chris raises an eyebrow. What does the winner get? Well, nothing, I say. It would just be for fun. Trevor makes a face at this. There should be a prize, Genevieve says. Otherwise, what's the point? I think fast. What would be a good prize? Movie tickets? A baked good of the winner's choice? I blurt out. No one says a word. We could all put in a 20. John offers. I throw him a grateful look and he smiles. Money's boring, Genevieve says, stretching like a cat. I roll my eyes. Who asked for her 2 cents? I didn't even ask for her to be here, Trevor says. How about the winner gets breakfast in bed every day for a week? It could be pancakes on Monday, omelet on Tuesday, waffle on Wednesday, and so forth. There are 6 of us, so, shuddering, Genevieve says, I don't eat breakfast. Everyone groans. Why don't you suggest something instead of shooting everybody down, Peter says, and I hide my face. Behind my braids so no one sees me smile, okay? Genevieve thinks for a minute, and then a smile spreads across her face. It's her big idea look, and it makes me nervous. Slowly, deliberately, she says, the winner gets a wish. From who? Trevor asks. Everybody? From any one of us who are playing. Wait a minute, Peter interjects. What are we signing on for here? Genevieve looks very pleased with herself. One wish, and you have to grant it. She looks like an evil queen. Chris's eyes gleam as she says, anything? Within reason, I quickly say. This isn't at all what I had in mind, but at least people are willing to play. Reason is subjective, John points out. Basically, Jen can't force Peter to have sex with her one last time, Chris says. That's what everyone's thinking, right? I stiffen. That wasn't what I was thinking, like at all. But now I am. Trevor busts up laughing and Peter shoves him. Genevieve shakes her head. You're disgusting, Chrissy. I only said what everyone was thinking. I'm barely even listening at this point. All I can think is, I want to play this game and I want to win. Just once I want to beat Genevieve at something. I only have one pen and no paper, so John tears up the ice cream sandwich box and we take turns writing our names down on our cardboard scraps. Then everybody puts their names in the empty time capsule. And I shake it up. We pass it around and I go last. I pull out the piece of cardboard, hold it close to my chest, and open it. John, well, that complicates things. I sneak a peek at him. He's carefully tucking his piece of cardboard in his jeans pocket. Sorry, pen pal, but you're going down. I take a quick look around the room for clues to who might have my name, but everyone's got their poker faces on. The rules are, your house is a safe zone. School is a safe zone, but not the parking lot. Once you step out the door, it's all fair game. You're out if you get hit with a two-hand touch. And if you renege on your wish, your life is forfeit. Genevieve comes up with that last part and it gives me shivers. Trevor Pike shudders and says, girls are scary. No, girls and their family are scary, Peter says, gesturing at Chris and Genevieve. They both smile, and in those smiles I see the family resemblance. Casting a sidelong glance at me, Peter says hopefully, you're not scary, though. You're sweet, right? Suddenly I remember something Stormy said to me. Don't ever let him get too sure of you. Peter is very sure of me. As sure as a person could be. I can be scary too, I quietly say back, and he blanches. Then, to everyone else, I say, let's just have fun with it. Oh, it'll be fun, John assures me. He puts his Orioles cap on his head and pulls the brim down. Game on. He catches my eye. If you thought I was good at Model UN, wait till you see my Zero Dark 30 skills. I walk with everyone out front to their cars, and I hear Peter tell Genevieve to get a ride with Chris, which they both balk at. Figure it out amongst yourselves, Peter says. I'm hanging out with my girlfriend. Genevieve rolls her eyes and Chris groans. Ugh. Fine. To Genevieve she says, get in. Chris's car is backing out of the driveway when John says to Peter, who's your girlfriend? My stomach does a dip, Covey. Peter gives him a funny look. You didn't know? That's weird. Now they're both looking at me. Peter's confused, but John gets it. Whatever it is, I should have told him. Why didn't I tell him? Everyone leaves soon after, except for Peter. So, are we going to talk about this? He asks, trailing after me into the kitchen. I've got the trash bag with all the ice cream wrappers and Capri Suns, and I refused his help carrying it down. Almost tripped going down the ladder with it, but I don't care. Sure, let's talk. I spin around and advance toward him, trash bag swinging in my hand. He lifts his hands up in alarm. Why did you bring Genevieve here? Peter grimaces. Covey, I'm sorry. Were you hanging out with her? Is that why you didn't come early to help me set up? He hesitates. Yeah, I was with her. She called me crying, so I went over there, and then I couldn't just leave her by herself, so I brought her. Crying? I've never known her to cry. Even when her cat Queen Elizabeth died, she didn't cry. She must have been faking to get Peter to stay. You couldn't just leave her? No, he says. She's going through some shit right now. I'm just trying to be there for her. As a friend. That's it. Gosh, she really knows how to work you, Peter. It's not like that. It's always like that. She pulls the strings and you just. I dangle my arms and head like a marionette doll. Peter frowns. That was mean. Well, I feel mean right now. So watch out. You're not mean, though. Not usually. Why can't you just tell me? You know I won't tell anyone. I really want to understand it, Peter. Because it's not for me to say. Don't try to make me tell you, because I can't. She's just doing this to manipulate you. It's what she does. I hear the jealousy in my voice, and I hate it, I hate it. This isn't me, he sighs. Nothing's happening with us. She just needs a friend. She has a lot of friends. She needs an old friend. I shake my head. He doesn't get it. Girls understand each other in a way boys never will. It's how I know this is all just another one of her games. Showing up at my house today was just another way for her to exert dominance over me. Then Peter says, speaking of old friends, I didn't realize you and McLaren were so buddy-buddy. I flush. I told you we were pen pals. Raising his eyebrows, he says, you're pen pals, but he doesn't know we're together? It never came up. Wait a minute, I'm the one who's supposed to be mad at him right now, not the other way around. Somehow this whole conversation has flipped around, and now I'm the one flailing. So that day you went to the Model UN thing a few months ago, I asked you if you saw McLaren and you said no. But then today he brought up Model UN, and you clearly did see him there. Did you not? I swallow. When did you turn into a prosecutor? Sheesh. I saw him there, but we didn't even talk. I just handed him a note. A note? You gave him a note? It wasn't from me, it was from a different country, for Model UN. Peter opens his mouth to ask another question, and I quickly add, I just didn't mention it because nothing came of it. Incredulous, he says, so you want me to be honest with you, but you don't want to be honest with me? It wasn't like that. I cry out. What is even happening here? How did our fight get so big so fast? Neither of us says anything for a moment. Then, quietly, he asks, do you want to break up? Break up? No. All of a sudden I feel shaky, like I could cry. Do you? No. You asked me first. So that's it. Neither of us wants to break up, so we just move on. Peter sinks down on a chair at the kitchen table and rests his head on it. I sit across from him. He feels so far away from me. My hand is itching to reach out and touch his hair, smooth it out, to make this fight be over and in our rear view. He lifts his head, his eyes are sad and enormous. Can we hug now? Shakily I nod, and we both get up and I wrap my arms around his middle. He holds me tight against him. His voice is muffled against my shoulder as he says, can we never fight again? I laugh a shaky kind of laugh, shaky and relieved. Yes, please. And then he's kissing me, his mouth is urgent against mine, like he's searching for some sort of reassurance, some kind of promise only I can give. In answer I kiss him back, yes, I promise, 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 let's never fight again. I start to lose my balance, and his arm locks around me tight, and he kisses me until I am breathless. On the phone that night, Chris says, spill it. Who do you have? I'm not telling. I've made this mistake in the past, telling Chris too much, only to have her tag her way to victory. Come on. I'll help you if you help me. I want my wish. Chris's strength in this game is how bad she wants it, but it's also her weakness. You have to play assassins in a cool, measured way, not go too hot too fast. I say this as someone who's observed all the nuances, but has never personally won. Of course, you might have my name. Besides, I want to win too. Let's just help each other out on this first round of hits, Chris wheedles. I don't have your name, I swear. Swear on your blankie that you won't let your mom throw away. I swear on my blankie Frederick, and I double swear on my new leather jacket that cost more money than my damn car. Do you have my name? No, swear on your ugly beret collection. I make an indignant sound. I swear on my charming and jaunty beret collection. So who do you have then? Trevor. I've got John McLaren. Let's team up to take them out, Chris suggests. Our alliance can last as long as this first round, and then it's every girl for herself. Is she for real, or is this all strategy? What if you're lying just to smoke me out? I swore on Frederick. I hesitate and then say, text me a picture of the name slip and then I'll believe you. Fine. Then text me yours. Fine. Bye. Wait. Tell me the truth. Does my hair look like shit? It doesn't, right? Jen's just a heinous troll. Right? I hesitate the tiniest of beats. Right. Chris and I are slumped down in her car. We are one neighborhood over from mine. It's the neighborhood Trevor will drive through to shortcut to school for track practice. We're parked in some random person's driveway. She says, "Tell me what you're going to wish for if you win." The way she says it, I know she doesn't think I'm going to win. I thought about the wish all last night when I was trying to fall asleep. There's a craft expo in North Carolina in June. I could get Peter to drive me. There's no way he'd take me otherwise. We could take his mom's van, so there's plenty of room for all the supplies and things that I'll buy. A craft expo? Chris is giving me a look like I'm a cockroach that flew into her car. You would waste a wish on a craft expo? I was just getting warmed up with that idea, I lie. Anyway, if you're so smart, what would you wish for if you were me? I would make it so that Peter never talks to Jen again. I mean, right? I'm an evil genius, am I not? Evil, yes, genius, hardly. Chris gives me a shove. And I giggle. We're both shoving each other when Chris stops short and says, 2:55. It's go time. Chris unlocks the doors and gets out and hides behind an oak tree in the yard. My adrenaline is pumping as I hop out of Chris's car, grab Kitty's bike out of her trunk, and push it a few houses. Then I set it on the ground and drape myself over it in a dramatic heap. Then I pull out the bottle of fake blood I bought for this very purpose and squirt some on my jeans, old jeans I've been planning on giving to Goodwill. As soon as I see Trevor's car approaching, I start to pretend sob. From behind the tree Chris whispers, "Tone it down a little." I immediately stop sobbing and start moaning. Trevor's car pulls up beside me. He rolls down the window. "Lara Jean? Are you okay?" I whimper. "No. I think I might have sprained my ankle. It really hurts. Can you give me a ride home?" I'm willing myself to tear up, but it's harder to cry on cue than I would have thought. I try to think about sad things, the Titanic, old people with Alzheimer's, Jamie Foxx pickle dying, but I can't focus. Trevor regards me suspiciously. "Why are you riding your bike in this neighborhood?" Oh no, I'm losing him. I start talking fast, but not too fast. "It's not my bike, it's my